Okay, in the building, I have the one and only Sidrim, aka Clemens.
Hello.
Sidrim from Vienna,
Yep.
an amazing producer. I played a few tunes earlier. I played your entire show, so you don't have to go see him tonight.
Basically, yeah, that was it.
When did it all started for you, Sidrim?
With the stuff that I'm making now, which is basically
No, with all the stuff, with the whole stuff.
I got the first correct version of Reason. I think it was Reason 1.5 from a good friend of mine, Paul the Colonius. He gave it to me and Dorian Concept, and that's basically when we started to check the program out. And then we used to call each other on like a regular weekday night, and we were like, wow, I've just discovered this amazing button. It's a filter, it's frequency. And we're like, wow, check this out.
When was that exactly?
Maybe when I was 15 or something.
So how old are you now?
29, so that was like
Yeah.
2000, about 2000.
So how long do you know those guys? Because you're friends with Dorian and the Colonius, JSBL, that
Basically
thing?
from my all childhood friends. With one I went to, what's the very first school called? Boarding school? For like the
Yeah.
6-year-old where you start going to school.
Kleuterschool. No.
Kleuterschool.
Kleuterschool.
Yeah, that. And then the other one, like when I was 12 or 13. It's kind of been a long time.
So you've worked for Affine Records, and you've produced for Affine Records. You dropped records on Affine.
Yes, it's actually our own. It's the label that we founded 7 years ago or something to really have a.
Who's behind Affine? Affine.
The main guy is called Jamal,
Mm-hmm.
who's also doing my bookings, and then it's Dorian Concept, the Colonius, me, and another guy called Gregor Lerl, who was founding the whole thing. Just to have a name. Basically, it started off more like a crew name, you know, just to have this one stamp that puts us all together.
Like they do in hip hop.
Yes.
Yeah. You were a graffiti writer?
Sorry?
Were you a graffiti writer?
No, but I was highly into hip hop at that time.
You were rapping?
A little bit of very, very bad freestyle rapping, but never in front of people.
So you've dropped records on Affine on your own label, on
Yeah.
Lucky Me.
Yeah.
What else? What other label was there? Yeah, pretty much Lucky Me, Affine.
That's for the main proper releases, and then on other labels or stuff where I just produced for vocalists or remixes came out on other labels.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it.
If I'm correct, you're a drummer.
Yeah.
So that's the second drummer I have on stage tonight. Does being a drummer influences a lot your drum pattern on the computer producing?
Nowadays it's not that easy to tell anymore, but in the beginning it was highly influential because just when you start to check out how a drum computer is working and you already know how to play a beat on a drum set, that helps a lot. So and also on the other way, then I programmed beats that sounded really awesome and I couldn't play, and then I tried to play these programmed beats on the real drum set. So I went like forth and back, and both things, the digital and the real drums influenced each other in a way.
Have you been to music school?
I've been to Vienna Conservatory studying jazz drums, which started off being actually quite cool because I didn't want to study anything else. But then in the end it got a bit boring because it's very traditional, you know.
But is there a reason why coming out of Vienna and doing this jazz school and kind of Colonius, you, Dorian, I mean the whole crew kind of have that similar sound and that similar even maybe programming?
Yeah,
But
that's less to do with our musical education and more with the records that we just collected when we were young.
What were you collecting? What was the influence?
A lot of basically it's always about it was always about the acts, the dualism between the hip hop tracks and the ones with the jazz samples, and the tracks where the original jazz samples were on. So it's kind of a, I don't know. Either you find out Bill Evans first, and then you find out about that Tribe Called Quest record where they sampled that, or the other way around, or basically also all the good old Ninja Tune records. It's kind of like a sport who finds the original sample first, way before these amazing websites where you kind of put in that exist now, where you put in the name of the track and it just spits out the original track. So that was an easy jump from hip hop to the stuff where hip hop gets sampled from. And then also my father was a big band trumpet player.
Okay.
And just on the side, he studied also in the conservatory and then had to take over the business of his father. But his old records, like from bands like Chicago or Blood, Sweat and Tears, and also a lot of big band stuff like, I don't know, Stan Kenton and stuff.
So did that inspire you?
Definitely. That was just running in the car and at home when I was really little. Like maybe when I was 6 years old, the most stuff that I heard was what I was listening to was, I don't know, funk records from the JBs or Tower of Power or, stuff like that. That just he liked from back in the day where he was young and that he just was spinning that in a car. And I didn't even know what that was, but kind of all these crazy funk beats just got stuck in the head. And that was also the first stuff that I started playing on a drum set, hip hop beats and funk beats.
You've done a lot of remixes lately for churches, Theophilus London, Sky Ferreira.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Do you have other things in mind right now that is coming soon?
Yeah. So the next thing that is coming is a 12-inch, 2 tracks and a remix from James Sue. It's coming out on a Fine Records. Charge.
Oh, Charges.
Charge. Just Charge. That's it. I don't even have a name for the second trap yet. I need to figure one out. That, and then there's at end of October there's the Theophilus London album dropping where I got two productions on. One of it was the one you just played before, so that's coming. And then after that, either another single on Lucky Me or straight to an album on Lucky Me later next year.
Do you see yourself an evolution in what you've been doing the last couple of years, and if the evolution goes faster now for you? Like in terms of production.
Yeah, the more I'm really sitting behind the computer and behind the piano and producing and composing, the more I do of that, the faster it changes what I do. Because basically it's just, you could either call it evolution or you could call it get bored of what you do and then you have to move to the next thing. So the more you do of the same thing, the faster it's getting boring, and then you have to, I don't know, find something that's just exciting for the moment and where you can build a track on.
So, as we said, you're not only producing, but you're also a drummer, and if I'm correct, you are going to tour with Dorian Concept on a Dorian Concept live show. That's
basically what we just did the last couple of weeks, just rehearsing for that live trio show.
How is that gonna look?
It's gonna be Dorian Concept on a Wurlitzer and a SH-101, like the old school
SH-101
machine.
Who's got some gear here? Those boys, they have some gear. Those boys got some gear.
And then it's the Clonios on a MIDI bass, in fact, and then me on drums, but also my drum pad that I use in my own live gigs. That's gonna be it. So it's kind of we're just building it. It's basically his new album, but in a little bit more improvised and a little bit more live. It's actually a real live band with a live trio. Just with also electronic instruments.
That's when you get bored of machines and go back to the essential. Right?
Basically, that was it. So we started off rehearsing with me on the drum pad, and then at some point we were like, "Fuck it, I want to play drums. I haven't played drums in a while. Let's just go to go from the studio to the rehearsal room, rehearse proper loud, like in basement teenage band volume, and it's great fun.
What can people expect from you tonight?
A good show, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Yeah.
I might get naked if you give me loads of gin tonics, but that
Okay.
would just be an extra,
Gin tonics.
and also just for you.
Oh man. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Sid Rim, and don't forget to go and check him out. Thank you, Sid Rim.
Thanks.
Thank you.